This project focuses on the artist Robin Mead. She's an artist from Georgia. She loves to experiment with mixed media and bold watercolors. So you'll notice in her art that she uses a lot of line designs by having the thick black outline. By using those thick, bold lines, she's showing movement and direction in her artwork, especially in this water painting. She shows the movement of the wave by using more of a spiral line and wavy lines. For our projects, we're going to be using thick, bold lines and preferably watercolor paints. If you don't have those, then markers or crayons will be perfectly okay. Your Robin Mead landscape painting. I'm going to be using watercolors. If you don't have watercolors, remember you can always make your own with marker. Or you can use crayons, markers, whatever works best for you. Your choice if you want your paper in landscape or portrait style. I'm going to have portrait for the one that we're doing today. So the first thing we need to do is with a pencil, because if we make a mistake, we want to be able to erase it. With your pencil, we're going to start in our foreground and have some really big flowers. So her paintings don't look completely real. She does have some depth, but they kind of look a little flatter. And we do know that if something is in our foreground, it looks closer to us and we draw it larger. You can add details in here. I like to add these little lines, and she used a lot of lines to show different textures. So it's kind of whimsical or fun, a lot of her work. I have another one here. Felt like I needed a petal. So remember those big black lines, where you're going to put those, how you're going to fill the space with different elements. We're going to put one more here. So I see a bunch of big petals on hers, or leaves overlapping. She kind of Zen-tangles a little bit in her paintings as well. And then we see the line where the land stops and the water starts. So we'll end up Zen-tangling a little bit down here. That means making different patterns and designs. Then towards the back, she uses line, different types of lines to show movement. So in the wave, she uses spiral lines. Maybe there's another wave behind it. We see some wavy lines for the water back here. I'm going to have a couple petal or leaves coming off of this flower. It's however you want to make it. Then in our background, I see some silhouettes of trees, which I'll just paint in or color in with my black marker later. So I'm just using a crazy zigzag line for the pine trees. Then my mountain, again, showing movement in the mountains and the curves of it. And then we have the sun. A lot of her paintings, she makes the sun really large, and then she has the rays coming off of it. A lot of times I tell you not to do the rays of the sun, but in her style, to make it feel a little more whimsical, that's what she does. You see kind of a sapling down here, or if you want to fill this space with more flowers, you can. I also see on the ground she has spiral lines, so I can use that as well. The next step will be to outline with a black Sharpie if you're using watercolors, if you just use a plain black marker, you can paint first, then trace over it with a black marker. Or you can trace this with a black pen. Gone through and erased a bunch of pencil lines that were there because I didn't trace the best. Our next step would be to add color. So for the color, she has a lot of warm colors just in the sky, the cold colors in the middle section with the water and the ground, and then we have bursts of warm colors in the flowers. I'm using watercolor. It is up to you if you want to use watercolor, marker, crayons, whatever you have at home. Watercolors is what I'm going to use because that's what she had used, and they blend really nicely. If you don't have watercolors, you can make sure that you are mixing different colors together whenever you're coloring with whatever medium you choose. I'm going to start by painting the background.